Okay, what I said in the last class is like how to work with the, yeah. So this is what we have seen, like working with the looping control statements, like how to work with this looping control statements like for loop, while loop, okay, do while. And after that, you have some more keywords out there here. And there are two keywords out there. One is a break and one more is which one? Continue. So this break and continue are called which statement? Process control statements. So this break and continue are called as which statement? Process control statement. So where even you can say break and continue are what here? Keywords. So break and continue are the keywords, and these keywords represent the statements here. Branching statements are process control statements, and these keywords are used inside which statement? Looping statements. Okay. So what this break will do is, so the first one is a break. So the first keyword is a break. So this is a break keyword or break statement. So this keyword is used to terminate the loop. Okay. So this keyword is used to terminate the loop unconditionally. If you want to terminate the loop unconditionally means without checking the condition. Okay. So this keyword is used to terminate the loop unconditional. Or you can say it is used for, okay, I can say it is used for, it is used for what? Terminating loop. So why we are using this break statement? We are using this break statement for terminating loop. So this looping statement can be either while or this looping statement can be either what? For. But if you want to terminate the loop in between, okay, if you want to terminate the loop in between, you are using this statement. Okay. If you want to terminate the loop in between, you are using this particular statement. Yes. If you want to terminate the loop, then you are using this particular statement. But how you are working with this? Okay, how you are working with this is, okay, for example, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to write one for loop. So for let n equal to 1 and n is less than or equal to 10, and then I said n plus plus. Actually, this for loop is get executed how many times? 10 times. Okay. Actually, this for loop get executed how many times? 10 times it will execute, because you started the value of n from where? 1. So 1 is less than or equal to 10. Yes. Repeat it. Then the value of n is incremented by 1, right? So then the value of n becomes what? 2. Is it 2 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Repeat it. And 3 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. So it will repeat this loop how many times here? 10 times. So what I'm doing is I'm writing here document dot, okay, document dot, right? I just write the value of which one? N. I'm just printing the value of n. Okay. But after printing the value of n, I'm trying to check one condition here. So that is, if the value of n is what here? 5. If the value of n is 5, immediately what I'm doing, I'm trying to terminate it by just including one statement called which one? Break. But actually this for loop is executed how many times? 10 times. But you are terminating in between. Okay, you are terminating in between based on some condition. But how you are terminating the loop? By just including one statement called break. You are just including one statement called break here. Okay. So what will happen if I run this code? You can see the values displayed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you want in the next line, you can just write document.write and just insert which break? Line break. Now once you run this, now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But actually the loop is executed how many times? 10 times. Okay, but you terminate in between when the value of n reaches to what? 5. So if you want to terminate, suppose, for example, assume that you don't want to continue the loop further. Then you terminate in between by just using the statement called which one? Break. The best example is for this. Suppose, assume that, the logic of finding input number is, what is this, prime or not? Okay, simple logic is finding input number is it input number is a prime number or not? But actually how you find the input number is a prime number or not? You take each time you take one number and divide this number from 1 to that number. Okay, you divide with 1, you divide with 2, you divide with 3, and then 4, and one more is what? 5. If the number of factors are 2, then it is called as which number? Prime. So that is the number which is divisible with 1 and itself. Okay, the number which is divisible with 1 and itself, that you call it as which number? Prime number. Suppose if the number is 5, you have to divide from 1 to 5. Suppose if the number is 6, you have to divide this 6 with a 1. You have to divide this 6 with what here? 2. You have to divide this 6 with a 3. And divide this 6 with a 4. And divide this 6 with a 5. And then divide this 6 with what here? 6. You are dividing this 6 from where? 1 to 6. Ring on. Okay. So 6 mod 1, is it divisible? Yes. 6 mod 2, is it divisible? Yes. 6 mod 3, is it divisible? Yes. But is it divisible more than 2 times? Then I don't want to continue with the rest of the things. I want to stop here only. I don't want to divide with the rest of the numbers. Then how can you stop in between? You just include one statement called which one? Break. Okay, you can just include the statement called break. Okay, now. So input the number first. I'm saying number. So let the number. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the method called %. So input one number. So prompt, enter any what here? Number. Enter any number. Okay, enter any number. After input the number, next is you have to count how many times it is divisible. You have to count how many times it is divisible. Then count is started from where? 0. Count is started from where? 0, right? Count is started from 0. See here. JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript frequently asked interview questions. Okay. JavaScript interview questions, right? So interview bits. Okay. So these are some of the questions, right? Okay. Interview questions. What do you learn? what are the different data types present in what? JavaScript. Which data types are there? Primitive data types are there. And one more is collections are non-primitives. Non-primitives. So these are nothing but which data types? Collection types which hold one value or more than one value. More than one value. So which is nothing but string. Okay. String is a collection or single type. String is a collection. See here. What are the data types we have seen? Like there is a string is there. So this is a string and there is a number and there is what here? Big integer and there is what it is? Boolean and there is what? Undefined and there is a null and there is one more data type called which one? Symbol. Okay. Now you need to know what are the questions which are asked, right? Yes. Default behavior of JavaScript where all the variables and functions declarations are moved on the top. Okay, this is a equal to 1 and you're printing a, but variable a. What is it declared? Is it declared after using or first used and then declared? First used and then what? Declared. But that is possible by using which keyword? Var keyword. But that is not possible using let keyword. That is possible using which keyword? Var keyword, but that is not possible using which keyword? Let keyword. Okay. Yes. So, so we have not come across debugger, right? Debugger. So what is the difference between double equal and triple equal? What is the difference between double equal and triple equal? Double equal is for comparing. Double equal is for comparing values. Double equal is comparing values. And triple equal is for comparing. Yes. Triple equal is for comparing value as well as type. Triple equal is for comparing value as well as type. Okay. Yes or no? So here, same value and same type. Same value and same type. So difference between variable and let keyword in what? JavaScript. Okay. So var keyword was used in JavaScript programming, whereas the keyword let was 2015. The keyword var has a function scope. Anywhere in the function, the variable specified using var is accessible, but let the scope of a variable declared within the let keyword is limited to what here? Block in which it is declared. So it means, now I said, this I'll discuss once we move to which one? Functions. But just try to understand, but let is introduced in what? 2015. But before that, how the variables are declared by using which keyword? Var keyword. Var keyword is there. So there is a explicit conversion is there or not? Yes. Conversion can be either implicit or explicit. Implicit conversion and one more is explicit conversion. Okay, implicit type conversion is JavaScript is automatically conversion of the value of one data type to what? Another. For example, when you add integer and string, what is the result you'll get? String. Because is it doing concatenation or addition? Concatenation. Because one operand is integer and one operand is what? String. One operand is integer and one more operand is what? String. Yes or no? Okay. Yes. This is Boolean or null. Okay. Yes. Yes. And operation. Okay. So this conversion is done automatically. Is JavaScript is a statically typed or dynamically typed language? Is a JavaScript is a statically typed or dynamically typed? Dynamically typed. Because is it type is at runtime or at compile time? Runtime. It means is it variables are declared with a type or variables are declared without type? Tell me, are in JavaScript, is it variables are declared with a type or JavaScript variables are declared without type? Without type. For example, if you are working with a C or C++, okay, C++ and Java, these are called as which languages? Statically typed languages. In statically typed languages, the type of variable should be given at the time of writing the program. The type of variable should be given at the time of writing the program. The type of variable should known by the compiler. If the type of variable is not known by the compiler, is it compiler gives an error or not? Yes. Suppose you are writing a Java program. How you are writing a Java program? You are writing a Java program like this. So there is a class A. Then within class A, okay, you'll say some public static void, some main and string arguments. Can I write directly A equal to 100? Can I write directly A equal to 100? No. I cannot write it directly A equal to 100. Okay, because is it variable A is declared or not declared? Not declared. So what I have to do first? I have to declare variable by saying integer A. So without declaring variable, is it possible to assign the value? No. It means declaring variable is nothing but you are saying A is which type here? Integer type. Now is it compiler knows the type or not? Is it compiler knows the type or not? Yes, compiler knows. A is a variable of which type? Integer, and it can hold which type of value? A is a variable of integer and it can hold which type of value? Integer value. It can hold which type of value? Integer value. But when it comes to the dynamically typed languages, is it type is known by the compiler? No, because are you creating variable with the type or without type? Without type. You are just writing let A equal to what? 10. So is it compiler knows what is the type of A? No. Compiler doesn't know what is the type of A. But when the type is known at runtime, because these objects are created at what? Runtime. Okay, when you assign 10 to A, then A is which type? Integer type. Suppose if I am saying A equal to 1.5, then is the type is changed from integer to what? Float. It means type is fixed or dynamic. Is it type is fixed or dynamic? Fixed. Sorry, here type is fixed or dynamic? Dynamic. But here type is fixed or dynamic? Fixed. Static means the type cannot change. Throughout the program, you cannot change the type of that variable. But in dynamically typed languages, can you change the type or not? Yes. Because you are not declaring variables with the type. So variable has no data type, but value has which one? Type. And variable change type dynamically. But variable cannot change type. Value have a type and variables also having type. Okay, now? Yes. So that is where you find the difference in statically typed and one more is dynamically typed. Statically typed and one more is dynamically typed. So JavaScript is a dynamically typed language where you don't define the type. So what is NaN property in JavaScript? I said NaN represents which one? Not a number. NaN represent what here? Not a number. NaN property represent the not a number value. It indicates value is not a legal number. Not a legal number, right? Not a legal number. What is the meaning of not a legal number? Suppose string is there. Is a string is a number. See here. Is a NaN, not a number. Not a legal number means generally when you get a NaN, suppose when you get a NaN is suppose when you do some arithmetic operations. Okay, when you do some arithmetic operations, you may get the result as which one? NaN, which is not nothing but not a number. You may get the not a number. Suppose in this case, is NaN hello is there? Is it NaN not a number? Is it hello is not a number or not? Yes. So what is the value written here? True. But 345 is a number or not a number? Number. So what is the value written? False. So not a number here. Suppose within single quotes you write 1, but is it a number? Within single quotes there is a number, right? 1. 1 is a number or not a number? Number. It is a number or not a number? Is it a number or not a number? Not a number. Why? Because it is there within, it is what? String. But it is not a number. Actually, it is a string, right? Then it should return true or false. True. But within string, which value is there? Number is there. Then it is written which one? False. Since 1 is converted to which type? Number type. Since 1 is converted to which type? Number type. Now true can be converted to a number type? Yes. Is it false can be converted to a number type? Yes. So all these are, these are number, is a number? No, all these are what? False in this case. Is NaN, not a number. Is it all these are not a number? No. 345 is a number, 1 is a number, true is a number, false is a number, but undefined is a number? No. Then what is the value written? True. So just you have to see even some interview questions. Interview questions, you should know it, right? But we have not come across pass by value and pass by reference. Okay. Yes, pass by value is there and pass by reference, because there are two types are there. How to invoke the function? No. We have not seen how to write a function, right? So what do you mean by strict mode in JavaScript and characteristics of JavaScript strict mode? Okay, even we have not come across this, because this is used with functions with what? Arguments. Functions with arguments. Yeah, duplicate arguments are not allowed by developers. And strict mode, you want able to JavaScript keyword as a parameter or what? We'll see this in functions. We'll see what is a higher order functions. Okay, explain this. No, we have not come across this, all these things, right? No. Okay. So anyway, these are whatever we learn till now. Whatever we learn till now, right? So if you want, you can see some more questions related with this top 50. Some questions you can take and you can start answering it, right? What happened here? This is not coming, right? No problem, right? Okay, but see, you have to know it. What kind of questions are asked? What type of questions are asked in what? JavaScript. Okay, because even if you put in your resume, I know JavaScript, they'll ask the questions related with JavaScript or not. Yes. Definitely they'll ask you the questions related with the JavaScript. So from beginning onwards, you should know all the questions, right? So let us C equal to 0. And if you want to terminate a loop in between, okay, so let I equal to 1 and I is less than or equal to which one? Number and I plus plus. So what you are doing, you are trying to divide a number until you are trying to divide a number from 1 to number. You are dividing a number from 1 to what here? Number. So the value of I started from where? 1. Is it 1 is less? Suppose my number is 3. This for loop is executed how many times? 3 times, right? Now here you have to write if number mod I equal to 0, then I'll say count plus equal to 1. If the number mod I equal to 0, count plus equal to 1, I'll say if the count is greater than 2. If the count is greater than 2, I don't want to divide further. If the count is greater than 2, I don't want to divide further. Then you include which statement? Break statement. You include a statement called break. Now break is for terminating or not? Yes. So you are terminating the loop by just including one statement, and that statement is what here? Break. Okay, now? Yes. So let I is 1, and after this you are trying to display if what is this? Count is 2, then I am trying to display alert. This number is which number? Prime number. Okay, it is a prime number. Else, okay, else I am trying to display the alert by saying this number is what? Not a prime number. This number is a prime number. Otherwise, it is not a prime number. Simple logic. Okay, now? Yes. Once you run this, now it's asking to enter the number. So number is a 5, and 5 is which number? Prime number. Okay. I run the code again. 6 is there, and 6 is which number? Not a prime number. But how many times is for loop is executed if it is 6? Tell me here. How many times is for loop is executed if it is 6? How many times? 3 times. Okay, now? So 6 mod 1, remainder is 0 or not? Yes. 6 mod 2, remainder is 0 or not? Yes. 6 mod 3, remainder is 0 or not? Yes. Then count is greater than what? 2. Then will it divide with the 4? No. Will it divide with the 5? No. It will not divide with the 6. Then you are terminating the loop in between by just including the statement called which one? Break. Unconditionally, you are terminating the loop unconditionally by just including one statement called break. Yes. Remember this. See, scope of the variables we'll discuss because we are not writing functions. When you're talking about functions, you'll talk about local, global, block level. I'll tell you what is local, global, and one more is block level scope. But right now, just to try to understand how to use all these things, right? And there is one more keyword is there. And what is that keyword you have? Continue is there. Now this keyword is opposite to which one? Break. Okay. So this keyword, continue keyword. So continue is a keyword here. So this keyword, continue keyword is used. Where it is used? Continue keyword is used inside what here? Loop. So that can be either while, that can be either what? For, that can be either do while. That can be either for while or it can be do while. So it is used to move the execution control, to move the execution control to the beginning of which one? Looping statement. If you want to move the execution control to the beginning of the looping statement, you are using a statement called which one? Continue. So whatever statements you write after continue, will those statements get executed? No, because the control is shifted from that line to where? Again loop. So because of that, is it rest of the statements are executed or not executed? Not executed. For example, simple one I'll write here. Suppose assume that I just write here for. Let I is a 1 and I is less than or equal to 10 and I said I plus plus, right? This is a for loop. And here I am writing if. Okay, if I mod 2 equal to 0, if I mod 2 equal to 0, I just write here document dot write, and I just print which value? I value. And after printing I value, I just write here, after writing I value, I just write here what? Continue. I write a continue. And after this, I'm just writing inside. There is a message inside which one? For loop. Inside for loop. Now if you see this, okay, I just write one statement here. What is the statement I write? Document dot write. What is the statement I write? Inside for loop. So tell me how many times the numbers are displayed. Suppose I is a 1, I is a 1. See how many times it will display inside for loop. Tell me how many times it will display inside for loop. Huh? How many times it will display inside for loop? 1 time or 10 times? Huh? 10 times. Huh? How many times? Huh? What is the value of I? 1. Is it 1 mod 2 equal to 0? Na? No. So what will happen? Will it execute this if? No. Then it will just print inside for loop. Okay. Then next I plus plus means 2. Is it 2 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 2 mod 2 remainder is 0 or not? Yes. So what is the message? What is the value it will print? 2. And after that, what statement here? Continue. Continue means where it will go? Again, go to the loop. Then I plus plus means the value of I becomes what? 3. Is it 3 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. How many times it will display inside for loop? 5 times. How many times it will display inside for loop? 5 times. And how many numbers it will display? 5. That is 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So 5 values are displayed and 5 times it will display a message called inside for loop. Because whenever you include the statement continue, is it continue will move the execution control to the beginning of the loop or not? Yes. Once you run this, inside for loop is printed only 5 times and numbers are printed how many times? 5 times. Let us print in the new line. So just concatenate with statement break. Okay. So after displaying this, include break. You can see inside for loop and 2, inside for loop and 4, inside for loop and 6, inside for loop 8, inside for loop 10. So how many times it is displayed inside for loop? 5 times, right? How many times it is displayed inside for loop? 10 times, 5 times, and remaining all are what here? Numbers. Okay. If you want to continue the loop in between without executing the rest of the statements, you want to continue from these statements here. After printing this, I want to continue from here without executing which statements? Rest of the statements. Then I just included a statement called which one? Continue. Continue is there, right? Yes. So this is quite opposite to which one? Break. So break will terminate the loop, but continue will continue the loop, right? So these are called some branching statement like break, and one more is a continue, right? Yes. Just to try to understand how to use this control statements. Control statements are how many types here? 2 types. 3 types are 2 types are 3 types. Conditional statements. First one is what? Conditional statements. Second one is looping control statements. Okay, looping control statements. And next one is a branching statements. Okay, next one is which statements? Branching statements. Okay, now there are 3 types of control statements out there. Okay, conditional statement, looping control statements, and one more is a branching statements. Then next we'll talk about working with the JavaScript. JavaScript which data type? Array data types. JavaScript which data type? Array data type. Array is a data type. Okay, so let us talk about this. Yes, conditional looping, and one more is a branching. Conditional looping and branching. So now when you're talking about data types of JavaScript, okay, you have a number data type. Now this is fundamental data type, and this data type represent one value or more than one value? One value. Number represent how many numbers? Only one number. Number represent only one number, and this number can be of which type? Integer, or this number can be of which type? Float. So there is a data type called which one? Boolean. And Boolean represent one Boolean that can be either true or that can be what? False. Okay, there is a string is there. Now string, one string represent how many string objects? Only one string object. One string object, string represent only one string. Now it cannot represent multiple strings. Now I want to represent more than one value. How can I represent more than one value? I can represent more than one value by grouping all those values into one collection called which one? Array. So array is a one value or group of values. So in application development, if you want to represent more than one value, listen please. इंटरेस्ट नहीं तो चले जाओ यार प्लीज. बाहर जाके बात कर सकते. తెలుగు అయింది బయటికి పోయి మాట్లాడుకోండి, ఏమనండి, క్లాస్లో మాట్లాడాలి ప్లీజ్. ఓకే, మళ్ళీ ఏమన్నా అంటే మీకు వస్తుంది తెలుసు, నాకు ఫీల్ అయిపోతారని తెలుసు, కానీ ఒకసారి చూస్తాను నేను అంతే. అదే పనిగా మాట్లాడారు అనుకోండి బాగుండదు. ఏమనుకుంటారంటే పక్కోళ్ళు కూడా సార్ ఏమంటలేడు ఇళ్ళని అని వాళ్ళు కూడా మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటారు. ఇక అట్లా క్లాస్ మొత్తం మాట్లాడుతుంది. आप बात कर रहे, बाजू वाले भी बात करते रहते, सार कुछ नहीं बोल रहे ना, पागल है उन्होंने, खाली बोलता रहे मगर कुछ नहीं कर रहे. सही है नहीं? सब लोग बात करते रहते. फिर सार कुछ नहीं बोल रहे ना, आप थोड़े छोटे बच्चे हैं क्या? You are LKG students, sir. I should tell, don't talk, listen. I should not say this, right? You should know all these things because you people are engineers. Behave like engineers only. Don't behave like क्या बोलते हैं यार, अभी आ रहा मेरे को, मैं कंट्रोल कर ले रहा हूँ. Not interested? I said no attendance. I said first beginning onwards, no attendance, no monitoring. Okay, no attendance, no monitoring, no questions, no answers, no writing, no listening. Certificate ho na? You want certificate? 100 certificates I'll give you. अमीरपेट में जो भी इंस्टीट्यूट है ना, पूरा सर्टिफिकेट दे देता मैं. क्या कर लेते, क्या करते यार? You have an engineering certificate, you'll get the job. क्या करते फिर इंजीनियरिंग करके? బూతులు వస్తున్నాయి నాకు కానీ కంట్రోల్ వేసుకుంటాను అంతే. You have an engineering degree, right? Why you are not getting job? You should understand. Certificate value is there, knowledge value is there. So certificate should be there and you should also have knowledge. Degree should be there to get a job. But subject should be there to get a job. Qualification for applying a job. To get a job, dimag rain. दिमाग नहीं रहे तो कुछ नहीं रहता. अच्छा, you have to maintain some this thing here. So anyway, no problem here. That is JavaScript array dot. Okay, anyway, you learn arrays. I mean, if you don't, you are beginning to the scripting language. Okay, now then even JavaScript is a scripting language, and it is also more than a scripting language. You call it as which one? Programming language. It's more than a scripting language. It means whatever features A programming language provide all the features provided by which one? JavaScript. That is the reason it is called as one of the topmost language or not? Yes. Topmost language. Now JavaScript array data type, but array type in JavaScript is object type. Actually, I should not say JavaScript array data type. I should say here JavaScript array. But you create an array, but that array is which type? Object type. It doesn't take this array as a array type, but it takes this array as which type? Object type. Because when you are saying it is object type, you can access. This can be accessed. Elements can be accessed with some name. Elements can be accessed with what? Index. Two are allowed. Generally, array means you always access the elements using what? Index. But here you can access the elements either by using index or you can access the elements by using which one? Name, properties. Okay, now. So JavaScript array. So what is array here? So generally you'll say, what is array? Okay, why we have to use arrays? Arrays are very much useful because to represent more than one value. I want to represent the scores of 5 players. How can I represent the scores of 5 players? I can represent scores of 5 players by using which one? Which one? Array. But how you represent that array? Within square bracket. How you represent the array? You can represent the array by using new and which type here? Array type. But why you are using arrays? You should know that first. We are using arrays to group an individual values. You are representing an individual values as one object. You are grouping an individual objects into one object and that object is called which one? Array. But generally you'll say array is a collection of similar type or different type, similar type. But here array is which type? Array is which type? Object type. So when you are saying object, is it object contains similar type values or different types of values? Different types. For example, if we take employee object, employee object is having employee number, employee name and salary. So employee number is which type? Integer. Employee name is which type? String. Salary is which type? Float. So is it having same type or different type or different type? So is it array can hold different type? In this case, is it array can hold a different type? Yes. Array can hold what? Different type. Because array in JavaScript is which type? Array in JavaScript is which type? Object type. When you're saying it is object type, is it object type hold the same values or different values? Different values. So why we are using arrays is array is a collection of, generally array is a collection of which one? Values. Okay, array is a collection of values. These values can be of which type? Same type. Or it can be of, or it can be what? Different type. Different type means mixed type. Different type means what here? Mixed type. In JavaScript, arrays are in JavaScript arrays are which type here? Object type. So whenever you create an array, it will create one object. Whenever you create an array, it will create one object. It will create one object. It will create one object. Okay, now whenever you create an array, it will create one object. And that object contain either one value or more than one value. So array is a collection of values. In application development, okay, arrays are used to group. Okay, arrays are used to group individual objects. To group individual objects into what? One object. You can say array is a container. Array is a container which contain what? More than one value or object. Array is a container which contain more than one value or object. More than one value or object. Just try to understand. More than one value or more than one object. Then how to create? Suppose, say, it is as simple as like this. For example, I want to represent the scores of 11 players. I want to represent the scores of how many players? 11 players. Then you'll say, let player 1 score 50. Let player 2 score is what? 60. Let player 3 score is some 90. Let player 4 score is some 10. Like this, you are trying to represent the scores of how many players? 11 players. 11 players means I have to create how many variables? 11 variables. But is it all these variables are holding values of same type or different type? Same type. Which type of values? Scores. Is it all these values represent scores or not? Yes. So instead of creating number of variables, what do you do it? You create only one variable. Instead of creating number of variables, you create only one variable of which type? Array type. You create only one variable of array type, and that represent how many values here? 11 values. Okay, that represent how many values? 11. So are you creating 11 variables for representing 11 scores? No. You are not creating 11 variables for representing 11 scores, but rather than you are creating only one variable to represent how many players scores? 11 players, but you are representing that as which one? Array. Getting on or not? So array is used for grouping individual values into one object. Okay, so that you can perform some aggregate operations. You can also perform some aggregate operations, right? Yes. Then array in JavaScript is of which type? Object type. Then how to create? Which one? Array. How to create an array? So in JavaScript, array is created in two ways. In JavaScript, array is created in two ways: by using constant, by using a constant. Constant means, okay, using which one? Square brackets. Using square brackets, and this represent which array? This represent which array? Empty array. And using square brackets and representing which one? Values. Separated with what here? Comma. Okay, so this is an array with what here? Values. But each value is separated with what? Comma. Then third one is using which data type? Using which data type? Array data type or array function. Using which data type? Array data type or array function. I should not say it is a function, but array is the name of the class, or it is the name of the data type. It's the name of the class or name of the. So these are different ways in which you can create what? Array in JavaScript. You can create an array by just giving what here? Empty square brackets. So empty square brackets represents. So let A equal to empty. Okay, now this is of which type? Now if I'm saying, suppose if I'm saying console.log, I'm saying console.log. Okay, so I'm just writing type of which one? A. Tell me what is A type? Object type. So A is which type here? Object type. If I just run this, what is the type of this A? Object type. So array is which type in this? Object type. Not only that, I said you can also create an array. Let B equal to new. I should use a new operator, and new operator is for creating which one? Object. New operator is used for creating which one? Object. New, the way how you are creating in Java, right? In the same way you are creating an object by using which operator? New operator. And new, what is the name of the data type? Array. What is the name of the class? Array. Are you creating object of which class? Array class. Okay, na? Then console dot console dot log type of which one? B. So B is also of which type? B is also of which type? Object type. So there is no type called which one? But whenever you create a object of which class? Array class. Whenever you create an object of which class? Array class. It is creating a object of which type? Object type. So why object type is in arrays? In JavaScript, an array can access, array data can be accessed either with the index or it can be accessed with what? Name. Okay, labels. You can also use the labels or you can also use which one? Properties. Okay, now? Yes. Now this is one way of creating a array. Now this is creating which array? Empty array, right? And this is creating array with some values. I want to create an array with some values. First, we'll see with this. Let A equal to empty array and let B equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Now, this is an array with which type of values? Integers, which you called it as numbers. And let C equal to 1.5, comma 2.5, 2.5, comma 3.5. This is an array with which value? Float values. Okay, let some D equal to within this. I'm just writing here some Java. Okay, Java, comma Oracle, comma some SQL server. Now this is an array with which type? String type. Okay, let us say E equal to within double quotes. I just write Naresh is a name. Okay, then next I'm saying Naresh is a name and some age. Age is some 49. Okay, some 49 is the age. Okay, now this is an array having how many values? 2 values. What is the first value of which type? String type. And second value is of which type? Integer type. First value is a string and second value is a integer. Okay, yes. Then I want to print it. Console dot log. A is which array? Empty array. So console dot log B. So B is an array having which values? Integer values. Console dot log C. And C is having which values? Float values. Console dot log D. D is having which values? String values. Console dot log E is having similar or different type? Different type. Okay. So different types of values here. So the first one is empty and this is having 5 values. This is having 3 values and this is having 3 values and this is having 2 values, right? So 2 values are there. Okay, now yes. So don't think that array can hold only similar type. Generally in C, C++, Java, you learn the same thing, right? Array can hold which type? Similar type of values. But in this case, array can hold a similar type or different type? Different types also. But in application development, always use the array for storing similar type or different type? Similar type. Okay, for storing similar type or different type? Similar type of, yes. So when you are saying it is an object, right? Now, when you are saying it is a object type means, when you say object type, every object is having some properties. Every object is having some properties as well as what? Behavior. Behavior is nothing but functions. It is having properties as well as what? Methods. Every object is having some properties and methods. Now can you see A is an object, right? Is it having how many methods here? All these are the methods of which one? See here, all these are the methods of which one? All these are the methods of which one? Array. Suppose you want to know the index of one value, then use a method called what? Index of. You want to join 2 arrays, then you can use which method? Join. So there is a keys and there is a last index of. There is a property called which one? Length. There is a method called map. There is a method called pop. There is a method called push. There is a method called reduce. There is a method called reduce, right? There is a method called reverse, shift. All these are which one? methods. All these are the methods which are provided by which one? Array. But there is one property. And what is the name of that property? Length. So there is one property. And what is the name of the property? Length. Length is a property, and that will return length of the array. Length of the array is nothing but how many values are there in the array. So length property. Okay, so there is one property. Properties and methods. Every object is having properties and methods. Properties and method. Properties define the state of the object, and behavior define the functionality of the object. Suppose debit card is there. So debit card is having some properties or not? Yes. What are the properties of debit card? Name. So is it name is holding the name of the debit card holder or not? Yes. So date of issue, date of expiry. Okay, date of issue and date of expiry. And debit card number will be there. And CVV, all these are what? Properties. So each property define one value or not? Yes. And debit card is not only having properties, it is also having some functionality. What is the functionality? Now using this debit card is having one functionality called which one? Swap. Okay, swap is a function. Now you take this debit card and just go to which one? ATM, and then perform which operation? Swap. Now when you swap it, this ATM call which function? Swap, to read the information about which one? Debit card. So debit card is not only having properties, it is also having which one? Behavior. Behavior is nothing but functionality. Okay. So array is object, right? Array is object, and this object is not only having properties, it is also having some functionality. So there is one property. What is the name of this property? Length. So this return, what length return? How many values are there inside the array? So this property return, this property returns number of values. Number of values exists within what? Array. How many values are there in the array? So that is written by which property? Length property. This property returns the number of values exists within the array. Okay, just to see here. Okay, suppose there is number of arrays are there, right? So I want to know how many values are there in A array. Then what will I do? I'll say console.log. What is the property I'm using? Length. What is the property I'm using? Length. Console.log. What is the property I'm using? Length. I want to know how many values are there in A array and how many values are there in which one? B array. How many values are there in A array? 0. No values. How many values are there in B array? 5 values are there. Okay, number of values. Okay, how many values are there? Okay, now A array is having 0, but B array is having how many values? 5 values. So length is a property which you can use it to find how many values are there inside what? Array. How many values are there inside array? So this is very much useful because, see here, for example, if you are working with the JavaScript, right? Application, HTML with the JavaScript, suppose there is one list is there. In this list, I selected multiple values. I selected how many values? Multiple values. Now this is what here? What is this here? Some list is there. You selected how many values? Multiple values. So when I read this multiple values, selected values, it will return the selected values as one array. It will return the selected values as one array. Because are you selected one value or more than one value? More than one value. So how this more than one value is represented it as array? So if it is more than one, then always you should think about which one? Array. If it is one value, then you don't require to go for array. JavaScript means in JScript it works like a structure. See, not like a structure. Object itself. Okay, object itself is a type, right? Object itself is a type. Okay, object itself is a type, but in C language, you call that object type as a structure, but structure will have only variables, right? So structure is having only variables. Okay, right? Yes. 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 There is a workshop. Class. Workshop. Say there is a workshop on English grammar, verbal ability. So today and tomorrow, 2 days you have a workshop. So this is a free workshop by Mr. Amit Pandey. Okay. So 12th and 13th May, 2 p.m. here on first floor, room number 1. First floor, only one room is there. Okay. Okay. So those who are interested, please attend. And you can attend even online. Online students can attend online. Offline students can attend offline as well as online. So this workshop is today as well as tomorrow. Okay, right. If I have a time, because you 2 o'clock means you people are busy in sleeping. Okay, yes or no? 2 o'clock you sleep, 12 o'clock you sleep. Now also some students are sleeping. अंते का सही बोल रहा हूँ गलत बोल रहा हूँ खाना खा के क्या करते हैं सो जाते हैं ना क्लास है फिर एक क्लास है क्या हाँ खोर जाओ you have a class at 2 o'clock no class right then after lunch what you do it sleeping mode that is right. After sleeping, you wake up. At what time you wake up? 4 o'clock. 4 or 6 or 7? 4 o'clock. Some people, they wake up 8 o'clock. So, फिर 8 o'clock से घूमते रहते पूरा अमीरपेट पूरा चक्कर मारते रहते Suppose ये एरिया पूरा हो गया then he'll cross the boundary. Then he'll do the research in Hyderabad. Which places are there? After Amirpet, next what? नाइट में घूमते रहते हैं यार बहुत सारे लोग हैं ऐसे राइट Naresh Shetty website Arvind you can go to a Naresh Shetty website you can find there okay na Naresh Shetty website you can search or Naresh Shetty telegram is there no there also you can find okay no problem yeah okay so here length is a property and using this length you can find the size of which one array how many elements are there in the array so that you are finding it by using the property called which one length okay now but when you are talking about array how can you read how to read content of how to read the content of which one array how to read content of array so you can read the content of array in different ways okay now you can read the content of array by using each element in array is identified with what? Index. You can read the content of the array by using which one? Index. You can read the content of the array by using array provide one method called which one? For each. Array provide one method called for each. For each is there. Okay. For each method also you can use it. And for there is one more which is off is there. For off and one more is for what is this? In. So there are different approaches out there to read the content of which one? Array. But most of the time, see, if you want to perform some immutable operations, then you go for which one? For each. We'll discuss that. Okay. So first we'll start with which one? Index. Okay. So reading content of array using what here? Index. So what is index? What is index? Index is an integer value. What is index? Is an integer value which represent what? Which represent what? Which represent what? Location. Which represent location number of which one? Value. Okay, index is a number given to what? Location. Index is like chairs out there. Each chair is given one number which is called chair number. Like that. Each value in the array is given one number, location number, position, and that you can call it as which one? Index, which represent location number or which represent what? Which represent what? Position of which one? Value. Okay, position of value. It represent position of value. Using index, a program can read how? Sequentially. How it can read? Sequentially, or it can read how? Randomly. Okay. Using index, program can read data sequentially or randomly. Okay. Suppose if I want to read 10 value, then I can just give the index as what? 10. If I want to read the first value, I can just give the index as what? 0. So where the index starts from where? 0. This is how it is represented. Just here. This is an array. Suppose I just write here let. Okay, so let A equal to yes. So let A equal to some 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So what will happen? It will create an object. It will create which one here? Object. So it will create an object. This is object type. Array object is which type? Object type. And it allocates memory for how many values? How many values? 5 values. Allocates memory for 5. Sequential or not? Yes. Array is always sequential. Now this is 10, 20, 30. So 40 and this value is a 50. Now each location in array is identified with the index. And that index starts from where? 0. 0, 1, 2, 3 and one more is 4. Now array object is having one property. What is the property? Length. What is the length of this array? 5. So what is the name of this object? A. What is the name of this object? A. If you want to find the length of this array, you are saying A dot. Which property are you accessing? Length. What is the length of this array? 5. I want to access a value. How can I access the value? Index. A of 0. What is value at 0? 10. Then A of 1. What is the value at 1? 20. A of 2. What is the value at 2? 30. A of 3. What is the value at 3? 40. A of 4. What is the value at 4? 50. A of, you have to use one subscript. A of 5. Is it any index 5? No. Is it defined or undefined? Undefined. It is not defined because how many indexes are there? Only 4. Because the length of this array is what? 5. Length of the array is 5 and always the index starts from where? 0. Why index starts at 0? Now, this is a logical question. Logical questions, because array representation is formula based representation. Actually, array representation is formula based. Generally, you learn this when you are learning C language. Why index starts at 0? Different reasons. Array representation is a formula based representation. Suppose each integer is 2 bytes. If you take each integer is how many bytes? 2 bytes. Okay, na? 2 bytes. Assume that this address is 1000. Then this address will be 1002. And this address will be 1004. This address will be 1006. This address will be 1008. But A is holding which address? First location address. To read the first value, is it required to increment the address? No. Because of that, index starts at what? 0. To read the second location, you have to increment the address with 2 bytes. And you are adding how many bytes? 2 bytes by just saying plus 1. Then plus 2, you are incrementing with how many bytes? 4 bytes. Then plus 3, you are incrementing with how many bytes? 6 bytes. Now you are moving from one address to another. But A is holding which address? Starting location address. And that address you call it as which address? Base address. Okay. So internal representation of array is formula based representation. So internal it uses some formula to read the values from the array. So what is the syntax here? Now you have to represent one subscript. One subscript because it is one dimensional array. You can have one dimensional array. You can have what? 2 dimensional array. You can have 3 dimension. 1 dimension or multi-dimension. I want to represent the scores of one match. Then 1D array. I want to represent the scores of 4 matches. Then 2D array. I want to represent the scores of 11 matches. Then I can go for which one? 2D array. I want to represent the scores of 11 matches, 11 teams. Then I should go for which one? Which array? Multi-dimensional array. That can be 3-dimensional. 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. One match, 11 players, 1 dimension. One match, 11 players is 1 dimension. Okay. I want 11 matches. One team. One team is there. How many matches? 11 matches. Then go for which one? 2-dimensional array. I want to represent 11 teams, 11 matches, 11 players. Then go for 3-dimensional. So based on the data, means where you can, based on the data, you try to use which one here? Dimension. That can be 1 dimension or 2 dimension or yes, any number of dimension. But this is 1 dimension or 2 dimension or 1 dimension because one row with multiple columns. One row with multiple columns. I can say this is which array? 1-dimensional array. So how can you read it? Now you can simply say, so document console dot log. So b of 0, comma, b of 1, then 2. Now these are called as subscripts, which are used as a indexes or not. Yes, these are the subscripts. Okay, yes. Once you run this, you can see the console window. You can see how many values: 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Suppose if I'm writing b of 4 and b of 5, but 5 is defined or undefined? Undefined, say. Undefined, but it doesn't give any. Is it raising any error? No, it is not raising any error, but rather than it just display, is it this index is defined or undefined? Undefined. Can you read all these values one by one by taking the help of which one? For loop. For let index equal to what? 0, and index is less than a dot what? B dot length, and then I'm saying index plus plus. Then I said index plus plus. Okay, so index starts at what here? 0, because you want to read how many values from this array? 5 values. The index starts at what here? 0. And 0 is less than, how many values are there in the array? 5 values. So is it 0 is less than 5? Yes. Then index plus plus, where the index is incremented by 1. Index is incremented by 1. I'm just writing here console dot which one? Log. Console dot log. I just print a or b of index. But here index starts from where? 0. So b of 0, b of 1, 2, 3, 4. Because until index is less than, until index is less than what? B dot length. Until index is less than B dot length. So how many values are displayed? 5. So 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Right? You can use directly which one? For loop. So index is 0 and an index is less than B dot length, and you are trying to increment. You are trying to increment the index with what here? 1. By using index plus plus. Right? Yes. But I said, you can read content of the array in different ways. One is by using index, and second one is, second one is using for loop. For each is there. Okay. So here I can write types of which one? Arrays. When you're talking about types of arrays, there is what? Single dimensional array, and there is multi-dimension array. Single dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. In single dimensional array, so data is organized. Data is organized. Organized. How? One row with what? Multiple columns. In multi-dimensional array, data is organized. It means where you store more data. So data is organized in multiple rows and what? Columns. Okay, here you store more data. But this is creating which array? Single dimension array. This is creating which array? Single dimensional array, where there is only one row. There is only one row with multiple. There is only one row with multiple columns. Okay, right? Yes. Then you can also read the content of the array by using other approaches. And what are the other approaches here you have is, for each is there, for off is there, and one more is for in. But let us see this, how to work with this for each, for off and for in, but not today, but we'll discuss this tomorrow, right? So today I just stopped here, and tomorrow we'll continue with how to read the content of the array, and even I'll tell you how to work with multi-dimensional array, and how can you add the values into the array dynamically. Means here you add the values within the program, but I want to add the values during runtime. So we'll talk about methods of array, right? So not today, but tomorrow we'll discuss. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow, right? Thank you. String representation of object. We'll see.